G'day, this is Captain Noob, and this is a Bloodied Super Sledge with 40% faster swing speed and 90% reduced weight major and minor legendary effects respectively. So a 3-star weapon of damn near perfect legendary effects. Honestly, I don't think you can go very wrong with the reduced weight on a Super Sledge. Considering this thing is like 20 pounds, you can get that without martial arts or any other weapon, lightning perk. 2 pounds for this thing, which is like a little bit heavier than a combat knife. In fact, twice the weight of a combat knife at only one, so that's pretty good. Obviously, we are missing out a little bit of damage, not having that +1 strength, but honestly, I don't think we'll need that extra point of strength damage. We've got unyielding armor, so when we get hurt, we'll more than make up to it. Anyways, so we're doing 160 ballistic damage and 10 energy, which is a pretty good start. We've got this thing without any perks right now, so let's go ahead and boost this thing with some perks. So obviously, being a two-hand weapon, it comes under Slugger, so we'll chuck on some of these Slugger perks right here. We've also got Martial Artist, obviously, for making it swing faster, increasing our DPS. Incisor, because I can't have rank 3 of that because I got Bandolier. I have to carry around a lot of ammo, so Incisor is only at 1. We could get more damage, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, be sure to 1 in the comments about that. And we've also got 3 ranks of Bloody Mess just for a little bit extra damage, which is pretty good in luck. We've also got Critical Savvy because, honestly, I don't think there's a lot more we could do in luck to actually make this thing better. So making those crits a little bit more frequent is a nice idea. Maybe if we wanted to go full Bloodied with this, we'd go Serendipity, but honestly, you don't really need to do a suicide build to make this weapon work. Obviously, in agility, we've got our ninja stuff on, so it's going to be a sneaky approach to this, so we're going to get more damage out of that. So we don't actually have to have ourselves almost dead for this thing to do a lot of damage. We can be like half dead and sneaking and get more than enough. All those perks applied, just shy of 300 ballistic damage and 18 energy damage. Yeah, the heating coil only gives you a little bit extra damage on this, but it's nice to have, sure, why not? Alrighty, so here we are with my hammer. Just got to equip it because, you know, weapon card was being strange. So, yeah, that's what it looks like in first person. We've seen the Super Sledge before. I've got this thing in real life. I got one of those replicas, which is actually kind of awesome. And the scaling looks about right. They've actually done a pretty good job with this thing scaling. Maybe for a 10k subscriber special, I'll go ahead and review all of the replica weapons that I got. Maybe that'd be interesting. So let's go ahead and just chop some super mutants, just cut them apart. And I think getting the best damage out of this is you're going to have to run up and power attack these guys. But we've got plenty of AP regen, so it's not going to be too bad. We got stuck there for a second. I thought I was over encumbered for a second. Oh, it's because I pressed caps lock. That was dumb. Yeah, caps lock is the auto run button. It's kind of like manual transition. So it looks like we've got a bunch of cowardly legendaries running around again, namely that Suicider appears to be giving zero shits about, you know, the immediate hammer-wielding threat. He's just going to run off in the opposite direction, which is kind of odd for a Suicider. I mean, having the cowardly legendaries is weird enough, but Suiciders running away from you is a very interesting role reversal there. So we'll pinch those caps off you, mate, and instigating Grognak's axe. Really? Is that a level 51? Hopefully. Oh yeah, okay, that's going to be a good weapon. Also 669 damage, obviously at adrenaline 60, yes. Alrighty, running around here, let's see if we can't make some use of this stealth damage. That guy's got a minigun, so he kind of had to die very, very quickly. We're about half health now, and I'm guessing we could probably... He blocked that, good on you, man. Yeah, we can probably just power attack these guys by sprinting and, you know, instantly killing them doing that. So, yeah, like, you don't even need a super dedicated Bloodied build, and yes, you've just played yourself there, because the more you hurt me, the more I can hurt you. So, Adrenal Reaction and all my unyielding gear is doing very well for a Bloodied weapon. This is one of the most, yeah, Bloodied is one of the most synergizing perks. You've got Unyielding Arm, which increases it, you know, as you get lower health. And same with Bloodied and also Adrenal Reaction. So you've got all of those things contributing to the whopping damage of this, which is still at Adrenaline 60. And we're doing over 1,000 damage at this point. Although I've got to watch those crippled limbs. Question is whether we can actually get over 100 energy damage. That'd be pretty interesting to see. But yeah, maybe if you're doing like a full-time Bloodied build with like extra points in that rad thing one where you get more strength of rads. God, I'm shit at remembering perk names. Alright, in the interior now, it gives us a little bit of a license to sneak around since we're not going to be in the daylight and everything's going to be up close and personal, so, you know, not being held back by your sneak speed it's not going to be much of a factor here, so we'll just keep on going and we'll see what we can do. Okay, we got detected there by the doggo. That was another legendary. He probably would have, like, took off in the other direction just so we can have a look. You know what? I'm not going to pick up that. And when it comes to these guys shooting at us with automatic weapons, that's when we've got to be a little bit worried about these guys. Normally, I don't rate the Lokes with the semi-auto ones, especially the laser guns, as much as a threat. But apparently they can do a little bit of damage, so there's our first impact courtesy of a pole in my eye. No, courtesy of Born Survivor there. It's a very good perk, actually. It makes sure I don't have to, you know, focus some of my mental capacity at watching my health bar, but it's not like aiming really has anything to do with melee builds anyway, does it? We'll keep on whacking these guys. That guy come in and he was already blocking as I was power attacking him, but I somehow managed to land it right there, so yeah, that's alright. So it's pretty chaotic in here at the moment. Make sure we don't get bitten or touch those doggos because we'll get probably radworms from those guys. We'll leave that guy for a little bit later, but I think I ought to kill this one first. Also, you might notice how I'm probably running a lot faster than you. I've got my FOV tuned up, so that's why it may look like I'm running a bit faster than what you'd usually get on console. I don't even know if they have FOV sliders on console, but yeah, that is why. It's just an illusion. I'm not actually running any faster than you. I'm not hacking, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And Exterminator's lever action rifle. Well, if it had been an Executioner's one, which it was close to, in terms of how it's spelt, I've already done one of those, and let me tell you, it was a good weapon. So, honestly, we're just one-shotting everybody in this point now, and it's actually doing super well. Did I kill these guys? No, I didn't. I think having a super sledge with reduced weight is actually... No, I got that last time, game. Yes, having a super sledge with reduced weight, or any melee weapon with reduced weight, lends itself kind of well. It makes sense for a lighter weapon to be swung faster, because, honestly, swinging around 20 pounds of super sledge like that would be incredibly difficult. You wouldn't be able to swing it nearly as fast as you could in the characters in the game. Why are we playing Fallout 76 for realism? I don't know, so whatever. I'm going to let that one slide. Alright, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to get whacked by the super mutants with a super sledge. And now they're a little bit in my face, overrunning me, so you know what? I'm going to actually play this smart and, you know, go where they aren't shooting at me from. Picking off one at a time. That guy had a pipe gun, which is useful to me because he doesn't do a lot of damage with that thing. It's weird how super mutant warlords can sometimes be armed with pipe guns. Looks like these two are alone, and no way you got that backhanded pimp slap all the way from there. Yes, for some reason when enemies attack you with melee, they always hit you. Like, you could leap up in the air like as a ghoul's running in for it attacking, and it will still hit you. We'll probably see that a little bit later if I remember to make a point of that, but in terms of making the point of damage, I think we've done pretty well. And then the game gave me a legendary notification for one of my armor bits being destroyed. Probably my, yep, marine armor there. That was on the fritz anyway. I'm missing out on a lot of ballistic weave or ballistic fiber to actually repair those. Anyway, so there you have it, the Bloodied Super Sledge with the swing speed in Super Mutants Plaza, and this is the point where I stepped in last time. People were like, your character's ugly, man, and I get it. Look at that rib cage, it's terrible, but let me show you something. But if I go in the looks menu and like fatten her up a little bit there, notice how the rib cage never goes away. This is just because that's how the vanilla body works. I'll show you what it looks like in Fallout 4 with my modded bodies to just give you a point on how much I loathe the vanilla body. I mean, if we are allowed mods, I'd probably have this changed, but I'll probably get banned if I put any mods in this because I'm posting gameplay to YouTube. Oh well. Yeah, so just taking a look at what the Grognak costume looks like with the body mods, you'll notice that there's very little rib cage like coming out of the body. Yeah, it looks a whole lot better, obviously. So yeah, that is why I loathe the vanilla body. It's terrible. Alright, it's probably time I showed you my gear. So all of this is unyielding. Although this one is broken, I think I still get the effects from that. So if I unequip it, I'll lose them. And those are my mutations. Now, just to add to that buff list a little bit, just because I'm killing a bunch of ghouls, I'll take a diluted Rad-X, and that'll keep our mutations online, because diluted Rad-X is a little bit weaker than the standard dose, so we should be okay with that. And we've got ghouls here, so it looks like we can go ahead and kill away. Also, I'm approaching the cap limit again, which is pretty good. I'll be able to spend all of my caps on Market 76, which I will be ripped off on severely. I'll say, hey, look at all these caps that I got. You want these caps? Anyway, so maybe I should stop talking shit and take a more analytical approach of this. So, obviously a swing speed weapon is going to be very, very good in crowd control situations. And with a super sledge, generally without the Bloodied legendary effect doing all of its nonsense. What the fuck are you doing, by the way? Stop molesting the door frame. And yes, with all of the swing speed that you do get, I mean, with all of this, all of the swing speed weapons do well, pretty much, in terms of these situations, because it just lifts your DPS by so much, because you can just hit so much faster. So there's a lot of utility. I mean, I think the end all be all on melee weapons is definitely that swing speed thing, because sure, power attack damage might be good if you've got an instigating weapon that actually does good damage, but sometimes you don't have that instigating effect on all the time, because, you know, enemies aren't always at full health, especially if you hit them once and it doesn't actually kill them. So it's actually just more advantageous and more versatile to run around with the basic 40% more swing speed anyway. It's literally the TSE of melee weapons, but no one's complaining about it, because if a melee player is coming to get you, you just stand like at a swinging distance and, you know, hose them down with your assault rifle, probably a handmade rifle. Actually, nobody uses assault rifles, or whatever heavy gunner things you've got, because those are very popular. Not with your pistols though, because for good reason, gunslingers in this game aren't used, because they're just not as good. I'm going off topic heaps, but I think the gameplay speaks for itself. Yes, good in crowd control situations. If you're in a nuke with the white springs, this thing has definitely got you covered, especially if you've got your rads, you know, eating up 40-50% of your health, and you've got the power attacks going against those bloated glowing arseholes. I think you'll be just fine with this. So yeah, we'll move on to something else. Gotta make sure I keep the rib cage out of the light here so you can't see it as much, hey? Also, if you're calling my character ugly, I think you're missing the point of the video. Go watch MXR videos if you want to perv on female toons. Alrighty, so Swan's over there. We're about half health as much as we had when we finished off the ghouls. 633 damage, which is awesome. So let's see how we can do with this mild amount of health lost and damage gain from unyielding adrenal reaction and the Bloodied legendary effect itself. And we'll power attack Swan. Almost got him. A quick follow-up is going to finish him off very, very quickly. So if I decided to, you know, not be a lazy asshole and, you know, deplete even more of my health, which just happened, I think I lost a little bit of max health due to not being well fed. Okay, so now I should be doing more damage, right? Oh yeah. Okay, we'll take that extra damage. Oh, actually, some of that is from adrenaline itself, but yeah, we'll take that extra damage and we'll use it to kill some goddamn crabby dudes. Alright, let's get sneaking and squashing some crabs. Let's see what we got. There's a glowing Milet King over there, so we ought to kick his ass. So I don't have glow sight on because I'm too fucking lazy to, you know, switch around perks. I've got it set up for shotgunner right now. All I need for shotgunners to be where I want it to be is just switch on enforcer. So we're missing out on a bit of damage against this guy in particular. Oi, come back here. You can't outrun my sneaking forever. But what you can do is completely resist that attack somehow. Yeah, for some reason sometimes your melee hits just don't land and we're in danger now. But that's okay because we immediately got ourselves out of that and we'll sprint up and whack this fucker in the face. Yep, that does well. And with another one over here. Whack him. Queen comes up unnecessarily. I was about to wake you up with the grenade. Maybe the offerings of those grenades aren't as good. So again, 1100 damage, and I guess we could say that we one-shotted her there, although we sort of got that plasma grenade on her, so whatever. Also, ooh, it's a wetsuit and a wetsuit helmet. Yeah, right. Yep, 1200 damage with all of that adrenaline, so yeah, you really can't go wrong with a bloodied weapon, can you? Especially when you've got it set up for stealth, unyielding, and adrenal reaction. It's just very, very powerful indeed. Perhaps overpowered? I don't know, let me know. Alright, so we're about 20-ish% health, maybe a little bit over because Born Survivor hasn't gotten itself equipped. We've equipped on Enforcer, so with this shotgun we should be able to make short work of the Scorch Beast's limbs. There, we took out his torso right away. Unfortunately, he's a little bit too far away from actually... Oh, he dropped anyway. Well, that's useful. And this is my baseball bat. Hang on, I didn't redo the keys, did I? Something's pushing me. How did you not see me? I guess it's because of all that unyielding agility. So if you could just sit tight there for a second. I've got a whole whopping 10% more damage on you thanks to adrenaline, not adrenal reaction. God damn it, I'm just terrible with names, aren't I? So, not quite the one shot. I probably could have power attacked there and would have got more damage, but honestly, it was quick enough. Sure, you press Alt button, or yeah, it's the Alt button to get that power attack in and you win instantly when you're in that situation. Oh yeah, this has just been a blast to use. So I think I'm going to leave things off there with the Bloodied Super Sledge, and I like how it's all covered in blood too. That's a very nice touch game, very context sensitive. So this is like the big boy weapon that everybody wants right now. Bloodied, swing speed, melee weapons seem to be the hot thing, and whether they'll be changed in the future, we'll have to see, because they nerfed TSE, didn't they? Although, the caveat to TSE, or to bloodied weapons and not TSE-powered weapons, is that you have to be almost dead, so you can't just use them to just obliterate everyone in PvP, because any old arsehole with any sort of crappy build can take you out if you've only got a tiny little bit of health left. There's a Nerd Rage activating, so... Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to gather all of the damage that I can, and we can see this thing full strength with Nerd Rage, Adrenal Reaction all the way up, and all that. So, sit tight, and I'll see what it is. Alright, so here's what's going to happen. I've tweaked my build a little bit. We've got Radical there, Nerd Rage. We don't have any points in Born Survivor anymore, so I won't regen some health. So I'm going to sit by these rad barrels until I'm of correct rads, and I'm going to buff myself with these things. In fact, I'll show you the buffing now, just so I don't fuck up the rads bit. So yeah, why not? Let's have a bit more luck. We're going to feel lucky. We're going to have a little bit of fury, although... Hang on, 3 minutes? Yeah, we'll be less than 3 minutes. Maybe some lemonade, that's helpful. Don't worry about the psycho buff, we've already got that. A little bit of damage resist is going to be useful. Yaogwai ribs, did I eat the Deathclaw steak? That is the question. I think I did. I can't even remember. Yes, I did. Alright, so they're my buffs right there. And we'll get ourselves into Nerd Rage Zone in a second. I've still got the Radworm, so that's actually helping me speed this up a little bit. Interestingly, standing next to these rad barrels gives me less rads than I was standing on top of that ute over there, or truck, I suppose. We're playing in West Virginia, which is in America. They call them trucks here, as I sit around this stupid fucking rads. Come on, there we go. Alright, we'll move away from that nonsense. And yes, he's actually legendary, so, you know, that's cool. So, yep, 1825 damage, times that by 3. What does that give you? Let's see. About 6,000 minus 600-ish. Yeah, okay. Heaps. Obviously, we kill him in one shot. Didn't even get to scream. And he had a hunter's chest thingy. A bloodied Gatling gun. Really? Ah, cool. Yeah, that might be fun to look at one of these days, eh? Nice. Thanks, one. Alright, let's try this on a Scorch Beast, sir, and this is kind of risky, so I'm going to have to play it a little bit safe here. So that should be his wings crippled. If he decides to land over in this direction, it would be good. Just need that sneak attack critical on him, I think. Let's take a quick look at his behavior. Oh yeah, he's landing. This is my chance to strike. This is it. Everybody, hold on to your butts, especially you, Scorch. Oi, where you fucking going? Come back here, you bastard. You will not escape this fate. Oh, Fury wore off. Well, it didn't really matter, did it? Oh, I just got the blight from that too. Okay, that's lowered my endurance, low hit points. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna finish off these guys with my shotgun. Yes, even though I do not expect for them at all. Luckily, Adrenal Reaction has got it for me, and Enforcer is helping me out even with these gun zombie dudes. All right, so yep. I'll probably just cut right back to the outro now, but again, we've got a little bit of adrenaline now, 50% on top of that if we go for another, hang on, let me just, there it is, 2095 damage, and if we think how much we get for an extra bit of fury, this might actually kill me here. So hopefully that thing is still active, and we've got 2465 damage. Oh, we're 2 points away from getting our energy damage up to 100. I'm satisfying. 2 is not too far away, so wow, there you go. There's the power of it if we decide to, you know, draw it out. We could get it over to 100 too, because obviously all we need to do is kill one more thing and let adrenaline do it, so it's definitely possible. But I think you've seen enough of that. So if you'd like to see this thing in your game, head to Market 76, because that's where you get most of the good stuff. Have a look around, maybe you'll find it. I don't know. Maybe ask a friend, because honestly, I've got no ideas. If you'd like to farm for this thing, just go to the locations I did, namely West Tech where the super mutants are, or the White Run Ghoul thing, because White Run, hang on. No, White Springs Ghoul Run, that's it. Yeah, those are the... So yeah, all of the places which I kill at, except for the crabs, I rarely find any legendaries there, are places where I do find legendaries. Swan has been legendary once, and how many times have I recorded a Fallout 76 video? Yeah, okay. Yeah, not heaps of times, and he's only been legendary to my mind once. So yeah, check out those places if you want to actually farm for this stuff in-game. Market 76 will definitely give you an easy time in trying to find it. Offer up caps, offer up weapons, and you'll be sure to get it. Thank you for watching, guys.